In the past week, the Cuphead creators, Studio MDHR, have released several forms of media relating to the franchise, from revealing gameplay footage of the game's DLC to announcing the Season 2 date of the Cuphead show, to even having the game headline Edge magazine, which is a popular UK gaming magazine. With all these things releasing at so many different points in time, I even have trouble keeping up with this stuff myself, because who knows, at any moment some random person from Twitter or Reddit could just randomly leak another new image of the DLC or a clip from the show, and only a small percentage of people would know about it. So in this video, I will be a guide to all of you on everything that has been released from the very beginning with the first gameplay trailer all the way to the present day. By the end of this video, you will know everything you need to know about the DLC just in time for the game's release in less than a week. And also, I just wanted to mention before the video starts, I will link a playlist in the description to my Cuphead DLC playlist where I go over some of the things I will mention in this video in greater detail. So check that out if you want, and it'll be the top link in the description. And there will be timestamps placed throughout the video, so if you want to know about a specific topic and click off right away, you can just skip to it. Now with the intro out of the way, let's get to the rundown. First things first, let's go back in time to 4 years ago on June 10th, 2018, when the Cuphead DLC was first announced to the public. I remember everyone was so excited for it because at the end of the trailer it said coming in 2019, with Miss Chalice double jumping across the screen. And for a while, it was pretty much silent on Studio MDHR's end because of how much work they had been putting into this game. And fast forward 3 years later, and there it was. On December 10th of 2021 at the Game Awards, Studio MDHR held a presentation and released the first song out of the DLC, which is most likely the menu music once you boot up the game, and also revealed the DLC gameplay trailer. Throughout this trailer, we are met with a model of Inkwell 4, referred to as in the trailer as DLC Island, 3 out of the 5 main bosses from the game, along with one of the quote-unquote mini-bosses from the King's Gauntlet in the game, which is the night boss you can see on screen right now. For everyone who has no idea what's been going on, and this is the video you're watching to catch up, I will be going over what the King's Gauntlet is later in the video, and a bunch of other stuff, so keep watching. And finally, we get the date of the game's release at the end of the trailer, which is set to be June 30th, 2022, which is in less than a week of this video releasing. These were very exciting times for the Cuphead community because we had been waiting years for this DLC to release, and we had finally gotten the date of the release, and now it just feels so surreal that there's less than a week left until the DLC comes out. So very exciting stuff, I must say, for Cuphead fans. Now let's fast forward exactly 6 months later to the Summer Games Fest, where Studio MDHR had a presentation revealing a bunch of new gameplay footage while also having a private presentation to those invited to it. For this part of the video, I'll be going over everything revealed from those two presentations, along with extra tidbits that were leaked chronologically of how they will show up in the game. Also, before I forget, the game will be $8 USD. I've been seeing many comments asking for the price, so this is how much it's going to be. And with that, let's get this video started, shall we? The first thing that will show up when you boot up the game is the title screen, which in my opinion looks absolutely stunning. The title screen, as you can see, consists of Cuphead and Mugman doing the usual dance they do as in the menu screen of the original game, but with Miss Chalice added in the middle, also doing her own little dance. When you proceed from that screen, you'll be prompted to choose a game file as usual. And since the DLC is essentially an extension of the original game, you will be able to play any file you previously had made in the original game, or you can start up a new game altogether. Once you enter the game, you will not automatically be placed on the 4th Inkwell Isle. You will need to, as seen in the footage, go to the first mausoleum and defeat it if it hasn't been done already. Once you have defeated the mausoleum, a little clock man will appear outside of it. Once you talk to him, he'll give you the option of whether to go to the DLC island or stay on Inkwell 1. This clock man acts as a fast travel mechanic between the main game and the DLC content. So as far as we know, as long as you have this mausoleum beaten in whichever game file you choose to play, you will remain there forever as a fast travel mechanic. If you accept this offer to go, it will then take you to the intro cutscenes to the DLC as shown on screen right now. If you need a refresher on what the story is, here it is. Miss Chalice wants to become a real being since she is in a ghost state at the moment, and the only way that she can become real is if she eats a special cookie that only Chef Saltbaker can make. The only problem is, the only way to obtain the ingredients for this cookie is if you defeat bosses on the Isle. So every time you beat a boss, instead of collecting a soul contract like in the first game, you will instead get what I assume is one ingredient for the cookie for each boss you defeat. And once the opening cutscenes end, you will spawn in Chef Saltbaker's bakery. I haven't seen a lot of people showing this online, so many of you probably missed it, so here it is. But the biggest twist to this whole thing that fans were really disappointed about is that there will not be a 3-player mode because Miss Chalice is only available through equipping a charm that you receive at the start of the game, and that is shown in one of the opening cutscenes. It does really suck that there isn't going to be a 3-player mode for this DLC, but eventually someone will probably make a mod for this game to have 3 players. So all you talented game designers out there, this is your time to shine and show people what you're really made of. No pressure, of course. I will now be showing off some gameplay footage of the map of the Isle. As you can see, the Isle is split into 4 different parts, along with the ladder that I will get into later. The 4 sections of the Isle are essentially 4 different regions. For example, one of the sections is set in the Wild West, where you will fight Sheriff Winchester, the horse boss from the trailer, whereas in the Ice region is where you'll fight Mortimer, which is the wizard boss that also appears in the trailer. Since I won't be able to go through this fully in the video, I will link a video in the description on me going through the entire Mortimer freeze boss if you would like to check that out. Since there was a lot of content to go through in that fight, going through the entire fight in this video would make it 10 times longer than I'd want it to be, and it would probably be more beneficial to watch the video anyways because I go over the fight in greater detail in that video than I would have done in this one. But speaking of Mortimer freeze and Sheriff Winchester, these are two images that were leaked from their respective fights. The image on the left is of what I assume to be Sheriff Winchester's final phase, while the image on the right is of the death screen of Mortimer freeze. Unfortunately, there isn't any real gameplay footage of Sheriff Winchester other than from the trailers, so this plus an image from the magazine is all that was released so far and probably until the DLC comes out. There also are several NPCs scattered across the aisle that you can speak to and will give you hints towards a major secret hidden on the aisle that I will get into during the magazine section of the video, which is right now, so stay sharp for that. In the following section of this video, I will be taking you through the various images found within the magazine. I will not be showing full pages of text found within the magazine. The only ones I will show are the ones that were leaked and the ones that are related to the DLC, which are mostly captioned under photos. Alright, now that the disclaimer is out of the way, here's the cover of the magazine. The middle picture is the actual cover of the magazine, and the image on the left is the back of the magazine, while the picture on the right, I have no idea where that's from within the magazine. I looked through the magazine multiple times myself, and it is nowhere to be found. I don't know whether you need a physical version of the magazine to have that image, but for the online version, it is nowhere to be found. This full image can be found on the Studio MDHR Twitter, so this is official art for any of you who are curious. I did also do a breakdown on the leaks of this magazine, just so you know the pages leaked were the cover and the last two pages I'll be talking about in the video. So if you'd like an in-depth breakdown, check out that video linked in the description below, or watch till the end to see what all the rave is about. Okay, the first thing I want to show off is the little castle off in the distance on the left part of the image with Winchester and Mortimer. That castle is where that King's Gauntlet is most likely going to take place, and is possibly where that ladder I spoke about before is going to lead us. Essentially, what the King's Gauntlet is going to be is a King Dice style of gauntlet from the main game where you have to go through a series of chess themed bosses to get to the King of Games. And by the way, the names King Gauntlet and King of Games can be found in the new achievements added on Steam to the Cuphead page, just if y'all were wondering where I pulled those names from. This gauntlet is also where that night boss from the trailer is going to take place. It is confirmed in the magazine right here. One of several backdrops for the multi-stage gauntlet and the delicious last course. It is not known who the King of Games is going to be, but my theory is that all the signs are pointing straight to King Dice. This is because if you own the game on Steam and go to your library, you are greeted with this image as the banner of this game. As you can see, there's King Dice, the devil, and the boy standing in the middle on what seems like a checkered floor with chess pieces behind them, which are the pawn and bishop. And now, look at the color of which King Dice is wearing. And this is not his usual outfit, is it? He usually wears a purple suit with a purple bow tie. And in this image, he is very clearly dressed up differently, with a full yellow suit and even the dots on his head are yellow. And this is also the one and only time in any media Cuphead related do we ever see him in this way. So my theory is that he is probably going to be the King of Games who runs this gauntlet, and he is going to be the final boss of that stage just by these hints, if you would even call them hints. Alright, that's probably the biggest thing I had prepared for this video, so enjoy the rest of the media that's been released. The next thing I want to show you is this little guy right here flying in the air. So in general, these guys on this page are going to be part of either a boss in the game or in their own sort of level. My original prediction was that since running guns won't be in this game, these guys will have their own separate levels of themselves, which will give us a way to collect coins like a running gun, but not be a running gun level. I think my theory was sort of right because of the image that's shown on screen right now. That little guy flying in the sky doesn't look so little now, does he? I have no idea what this level is going to be because he looks very boss-like in this image, unless this fight has multiple screens to it. In this photo shown on screen right now is from one of the pages that were leaked from the magazine, and you can see that this is very similar to the light boss that went unused in the main game. Furthermore, if you remember, there is also a boss that was supposed to be in the first game called Flying Gentleman, and he was a spider-like boss wearing a suit and top hat. Well, he makes an appearance in this magazine as well, looking very different, and the main difference is the color of his outfit and the fact that he isn't flying whatsoever. This character appears in that very same level. In another photo that was leaked, you can see he makes an appearance in the game as well, and he very clearly decreased in size and is not flying whatsoever. One last detail I forgot to mention about the first image is that Canteen Hughes from the main game has come back to assist us in this fight, is what I assume is taking place right here. If you guys don't remember this guy, he's the one we speak to before we enter the plane tutorial on Inkwell Isle 1, and he's the one that gives us the mini bomb shot in the second Inkwell Isle. But while we're on the topic of planes, let me show you some other plane themed images from the magazine. This one has some sort of animal that appears on the cover of the magazine as well. He also might have a part to play in that airplane style level as well, but he has not been shown in any in-game imagery whatsoever. This photo and the cover art are the only images we have of him, and since this is the last one of these characters to show up in the magazine, I'm just gonna put my theory out there that every one of these characters on the cover art, excluding Glumstone, which is the giant boss from the trailer is all part of one big level that you will be able to collect coins from. If there are no coins in it, it'll probably be part of the level with a big boss fight at the end of the level to finish it off. This is just a straight guess, I have no clue what the case may be, but from all these images it seems like that might be the case. Another plane themed image found in this magazine is Miss Chalice's design in her own plane. It is designed to sort of mimic Cuphead and Mugman's plane design, but with her own little changes to it. Alright, now that we're done with the plane talk, let's take a break for a second before I finish this video because I've been going on and on without a break for however long it's been. So I just want to take this opportunity to ask you to subscribe to the channel and like this video if you're enjoying it. A lot of work gets put into these kind of videos, so I just wanted to ask if you like these kinds of videos, consider subscribing to the channel with notifications on so you don't miss an upload, and like this video if you do. We are currently on the way to 1,000 subscribers and I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. Thank you all very much for the support on the recent videos, and it makes me really happy you all are enjoying the content I'm putting out. So thank you. And with that, the break is over. Let's get right back into it and finish this. Alright, the final two sections of the video are going to be the full body images seen in the magazine, which will be quick. And then the second section is to the last two pages of the magazine that were leaked before the magazine's release. So let's go. Here are the three images of Mortimer, Winchester, and Glumstone. These are their full body art. See, I told you it'd be quick. Alright, now for the last couple of pages to end this video off. As I said previously, I did do a separate video on these images, so I'll be going through them here briefly, but check the link in the description to watch the full video if you want an in-depth breakdown of these images. So as you can see, there are two main images on both these pages and a bunch of mini images on the image on the right. So let's get a sense of the bigger picture, shall we? And tackle them one at a time. First of all, we can see here that this is probably going to be the last phase of the Glumstone boss fight. He is very clearly beaten up and looks like the final phase of Wally Warbles, so that's what my interpretation of the picture is. Also, you can see here that he is holding puppets of two very familiar looking characters. Yes, you guessed it, it is King Dice and the Devil dressed up as a king and jester. A very clever Middle Ages reference by Studio MDHR, especially when there's a floating castle in this game. Next up is Miss Chalice in her third super art form. She transforms into her past self, I'm assuming, from her statue in Rugged Ridge, and attacks the boss with some of her old pals. Very cool design, I must add, and it's cool they took some of the statues from the running gun and added them into her character design. On this same page, there's that light boss fight / level I talked about previously with the flying gentleman making an appearance, and another phase it seems from Sheriff Winchester. But what I want to actually look at closely is at the caption under one of the last photos on this page, which is just an image of Cuphead standing on the fourth aisle. It reads, "The fourth island has a few NPCs to chat to and at least one hidden route, but the main secret lies in the graveyard beyond a 3-part puzzle which you're given a few hints." So clearly there's some great secret that lies among the aisle, and clearly, as it's stated, it has something to do with the graveyard. But even if we don't know what it is, we have something here that could be a possible connection, and a big one too. I just want to say, if you do not want any potential spoilers, I suggest clicking off the video because what I'm about to point out is something very crucial that could give away the entire game. You gone? Good. Let's continue. As you can see on the left of the image, there's a flag standing next to Chef Saltbaker's bakery, and we all know that's not some normal flag. That flag is clearly a flag you get when you defeat a boss in the game. You can see the same ones in the original game. All I'm saying is, unless these flags mean something completely different in this DLC, this basically confirms that Chef Saltbaker will be a boss in the game. Nothing has been confirmed by Studio MDHR, so this is just a theory at this point, but it could potentially be misleading us because of the fact that it is shown in the magazine before the game is even released. So this might not be the case whatsoever, but it very well might be. Alright, you guys still alive? I hope so, because now we have reached the end of the video, and you now have all the knowledge you need going into the Cuphead DLC dropping in less than a week. I know this is a really long video than usual, but there was a lot of stuff to cover and wanted everyone to have all the information they need before the game comes out jam-packed into one video. If you notice that I missed something in this video or I got something completely wrong, leave it in the comments below and I'll be hardening them so it can be seen by everyone else. Also, if you liked this video and found stuff in this video that you didn't know about, consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video. We are on the way to 1,000 subscribers, but if we've already reached 1K by the time this video uploads, and thank you all for 1,000 subs. I absolutely appreciate and love each and every one of you for support, and just thank you all for 1,000 subscribers. But by the time, literally, I'm like 10 subscribers away from 1,000 right now, and you know, it's absolutely crazy. So thank you all so much. I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for the support. And this video has already been drawn off long enough, so I'm gonna end it right here. As always, at the end of every video, I hope you'll have a fantastic rest of your day, and if you're not already having a good day, I hope your day gets better. Peace, love, goodbye from me. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you all next time.